What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to WWE NXT TAKEOVER Toronto review. Some people will say NXT TAKEOVER Toronto too, because this is NXT's TAKEOVER show that was in Toronto for the second time. I believe it was back in 2016 when I could be wrong with this, but I believe it was in 2016. That's where they were in Toronto the last time. I could always double check though to see. Yes, it was 2016, and this is their return 3 years later. And yes, folks, this will be my actually my third time to do a live broadcast. This time, Robertin's doing a review because the last two I did was about doing more testing. Robertin's to this new live stream called StreamYard for YouTube, and I love it. I love the quality. I love the format. I love the theme, the atmosphere, and all that. Finally, you StreamYard this on here pertains to adding the avatar picture, which you can see as you can see right now. That's a picture of me with the name Natural Born above my head, and then with the mouth on cover of that says Thriller. But yeah, but besides that, yeah, let's get to this. So again, folks, this will be the WWE NXT Takeover Toronto review from 2019, the show from August 10th, 2019, with them being in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, at the Scotia Bank Arena, I'm assuming that's what it's called, with the attendance of 13,703. What? Let me say this again. With the attendance of 13,735 NXT fans in attendance with the brand of NXT under the promotion of the WWE. Again, I'm guessing as how you pronounce it pertains to the the arena they're at. Just that's got the bank. That's got the bank. I guess how you say it. So this was NXT Takeover Toronto, where it pertains to WWE SummerSlam weekend, and let's get to it. First of all, your commentators: Mauro Bonaro, Nigel McGuinness, and Beth Phoenix. Ring announcer: Alicia Taylor. And you had a pre-show for NXT Takeover Toronto, which it features on the pre-show panel Charlie Caruso, Sam Roberts, and Pat McAfee. I did try to say his last name. Don't know who he is that much. I mean, I've seen a couple of vids of him, but other than that, don't know much about him. Um, so I will talk about some honorable mentions before I talk about the main event, especially what pertains to a couple more honorable mentions what pertains to what happened on the pre-show of it as well, because I didn't watch the pre-show. But let's start with the opening introduction first. What pertains to hyping up the matches that was lining up for Takeover Toronto, for for the ones that are competing here. The one that was came out very strongly of it was Alan Cole and Johnny Gargano, where pertains to their feud, and it's good where pertains to the stipulation of the matches as for his 2 or 3 falls, which should be called the 3 stages of hell. But I digress. But so that was a good opening of Takeover Toronto, to get people hyped up for the show. Then we get to the opening match: the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, who are the NXT Tag Team Champions, versus the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, aka Red Dragon, for the NXT Tag Team Championship that lasted 16 minutes and 55 seconds. Match, the opening match itself was pretty good. Both teams looked strong. Where pertains to the structure of the match, the way it's been booked, the way it has been booked in position as. It's easy for me to say, but nothing but teasing of what could end this match and everything, which it was very telling there. Um, but in a way, it was pretty good the way it was done. Then the finish came because I'm expecting Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly to win this match to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions to wear some gold once again more chance to Undisputed Era. That wasn't the case at all because when Montez Ford hits the sky high frog splash onto Kyle O'Reilly and got the 3 count in the win, that shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, what? The Street Profits retain even though they've been on call up to be on Raw. And I don't know if they've been on SmackDown. I mean, I'm assuming they have been on SmackDown as well, but not saying they have matches on the shows. But on top of that, they also appear on WWE's main pay per views as well. You know, since they've been called up to Raw, or, with the whole thing with Paul Heyman being the whole thing announcement that Paul Heyman is going to be in charge of Raw, working to TV, and him being the director. What was it? The director of the the executive directors. I guess what they call him by. And the same thing with Eric Bischoff, what pertains to him being charged with SmackDown, which still haven't heard any reports about that or about Bischoff being in charge of SmackDown yet. What pertains to TV wise, TV shows of it. I don't know, but I digress. But the fact that the Street Profits retained the tag titles against Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Now I didn't hate the match after that. I still enjoyed the match. I love the match, by the way. I was just I was just scratching my head after the match, like saying myself, Street Profits retain even though they're on Raw, on the main shows of Raw, and they're obviously gonna be called up pretty soon because Paul Heyman likes these guys, which what was not to like about these guys. These guys they have they're oozing of personality and charisma, especially Montez Ford. You could tell with Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins, he still need to find his footing there of finding that 100% of gaining that charisma. Right now he's got 50% of it. You know, but yeah, but I'm like, why? I don't get it. I thought the whole plan was for Undisputed Era to be draped in gold, and this was not a good step in the right. This was not good a good this was not a good right. How you say it? It's not the right. I lost my train of thought there, folks. I apologize. But yeah, again, but I didn't hate the match though. But it's just I just left with a confusion in my head, like what happened? What the hell just happened there? I thought the Street Profits was going to lose here. So basically, they just proved that they are the best tag team by beating one of the best tag teams coming into WWE in Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, Red Dragon. But it's whatever. Next match, excuse me. Next match, we got Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. Match lasted 15 minutes. Surprised it lasted that long. And good thing it did because this was the best women's match I've ever seen. And yes, there are other women's matches that I've seen before as well that are very good as well, especially one with Kira Hogan. I'm just saying, Impact Wrestling. But besides that, you know, um, but I've also seen some good matches represents Eva Lise to from Ali and not Brandy Rose, by the way. Just saying. Um, Tessa Blanchard is one of them as well. Obviously, Tessa Blanchard is the current best women's wrestler in the world. But seeing this match between Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. Now, originally, this was supposed to be Kairi Sane versus Io Shirai, and Candice LeRae was supposed to be going after the NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. But because Vince McMahon decided to call up Kairi Sane early to come to the main show and do absolutely nothing with her, with Asuka, and pairing them with Paige for Paige to be the manager. What a colossal failure that was. They decided to change the story here, with Cancer Ray being the one um, to be friends with Io Shirai against the Four Horsewomen, which just come and do Maria Shafir and the the Queen of Spades, the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler. So they needed someone for Io Shirai to turn on, and their solution was Candice Ray. And the story itself, the build up of what they did, it was alright. I thought it was the way they did was alright. It was intriguing too, by the way. It caught my attention. And then we get to this match here. Well, I was expecting it to be like an okay match or maybe a decent match, but this ends up being more than that. It was actually a very good match. And I suggest to anyone that if you want to see a good wrestling match, or well, in a way a good women's wrestling match, check out Io Shirai and Cancer Ray. You will not be disappointed. But then again, some people may not like to watch an NXT match. So anyways, so yeah, the finish of the match about Io Shirai, basically on the match here was that Cancer Ray was trying to get some offense, but Io Shirai kept cutting her off and everything, which I can appreciate that type of booking. But Cancer Ray ends up getting some mounts and comeback and everything. But yeah, Io Shirai was showcasing how much of a badass heel she can be, and especially with her facial expressions, the way just the way she carries herself now. I love this Io Shirai. I mean, I always loved the good Io Shirai with her being the genius of the sky and that cool theme music she had. But with this new persona of Io Shirai, with her being the evil Io Shirai, you know, and with her new music and everything, I love her even more, and I love her outfit too. Um, that she was wrestling in, and also what she came out with as well, with her chance to doing her entrance. But yeah, in the end, Io Shirai was trying to defeat Cancer Ray here, but Cancer Ray kept kicking out, until finally Io Shirai puts her in the Koji clutch, excuse me. Cancer Ray tried to get out of it, or at least try to get to the ropes, whatever. And then she tried to tap out, but then Io Shirai grabs her by the arm to prevent her to not tap out. And I'm like, holy shit. So basically, she wants Cancer Ray to suffer in the submission hole. Yeah, and that's what happened. Cancer Ray ends up passing out of her being, of losing to Io Shirai. Yeah, so yeah, in a way, it was the right call here for Io Shirai to win, because there was no way that Io Shirai, for being a heel, that they were gonna just have her lose there. So in a way, I can appreciate that. Cancer Ray, and there's nothing to Cancer Ray. This was her first takeover match that she ever had, and yes, she's appeared a couple of takeovers shows before too, but she's never had a wrestling match though. So in a way, this was her first takeover match that she ever had, and unfortunately, she lost her first match on a takeover show. Um, her first takeover match, basically. But anyways, but yeah, this was a very good match. Now, before we get to this next match, all of a sudden we get Matt Riddle coming out and saying, "Bro, bro, bro, bro." He comes from the crowd. He had a microphone. He gets into the ring, and he calls out the man, Goldberg. No, just kidding. He didn't call Goldberg out. Um, it's, he was calling out Killian Dane, because those two are working on a program together, where Killian Dane kept sneak attacking. Killian Dane keeps sneak attacking Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle wants to finally have this fight between these two face to face and all that, man to man and all that. And finally, Killian Dane comes from the crowd, and they start fighting at ringside. Shakir comes out, but securities were beaten up by Matt Riddle and Killian Dane, and they continue the fighting. We get officials coming out, more securities come out to break it to break them up. It's just nothing but chaos going on in this takeover show. I don't think this ever happened before. By the way, where pertains to a takeover, what pertains to having a segment where a show is being held hostage with a fight, an altercation. So I don't think this has ever happened before. Then what? With Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish attacking Sandy and ALP from 2 years ago when they made their sort of debut, and then later on with they came back out after Drew McIntyre defeated Bobby Roode to become the NXT champion, and then Adam Cole made his debut, and that's when they basically were forming a faction there, but which they were not called Undisputed Era until weeks later. But other than that, I can't remember. Someone. Well, I guess you could say in the way Seth Rollins tried to hold the show hostage. During his feud with Triple H, that was from 2017. But other than that, I I don't think they ever done a segment where Matt Riddle was calling out someone from NXT. Which is Killian Dane to have a fight with. You know. But yeah, but there you go. That was that. Oh yeah, and Killian Dane ends up um sort of winning the fight in a way when Matt Riddle was on top of him, trying to come out, and then Killian Dane, I think he either ran into the security or grabbed the security, and they started falling off the stage, and then that's where the fight ended. Basically, Killian Dane did what he can to take out Matt Riddle, and the feud's going to continue. So there you go. Um, now we get to this next match. After that brawl from Matt Riddle and Killian Dane, and it's a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship that lasted 17 minutes and 24 seconds. The Velveteen Dream, who's the champion, versus Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong. The Velveteen Dream's entrance. First of all, because they were in Canada, we heard on the familiar theme music, or should I say, a familiar theme song, what pertains to the Quebecers, and it was a theme song called "The Mountie." Dancers, which for this NBA team, I forgot the name of the team already. I think it was the Toronto Raptors, but they were they were doing a dancing Purple Rain, um because Velveteen Dream's character is supposed to be portrayed as Prince, and I see him wearing spandex. Um, and yeah, so the Velveteen Dream had that entrance, and yeah, Velveteen Dream is always about a flamboyant entrance and all that, so no surprise there. But as far as the match itself, next to Io Shirai and Candice Ray, to me it's debatable which match I thought was the best match for this show. Um, but but the Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne, and Roderick Strong, all three of them did a tremendous job in this match. Hats off to all three of them. And yes, I'm even praising the Velveteen Dream, even though I don't like the character. I despise the character. The character is insulting to me, pertains to me being a Prince fan. Besides that, I look at the of Velveteen Dream's performance as a wrestler, and he's pretty damn good. Obviously, it's just that the gimmick that he's portraying as it just irritates me, annoys the hell out of me. But yeah, but the Velveteen Dream was doing his thing, and he was tremendous. Pete Dunne, he's always been tremendous in my eyes, especially Roderick Strong. Um, in the end, we get to the finish of the climax of this match. Basically, we get a little teaser there that looked like Pete Dunne was going to win, but Velveteen Dream stops the referee because during that matches there's no disqualification. Pete Dunne takes care of the Velveteen Dream. Roger Strong gets to Pete Dunne. He takes care of him. only for the Velveteen Dream to go for the Purple Rainmaker. Wait, basically, Roger Strong hits the end of Heartache onto Pete Dunne. So I'm thinking maybe Roger Strong's for the win here, but but the Velveteen Dream comes out of nowhere to break up the count with the Purple Rainmaker elbow drop, where Roger Strong was on top of Pete Dunne because Pete Dunne already took a finisher from Roger Strong, the end of Heartaches. And then after Velveteen Dream hits the Purple Rainmaker on top of Roger Strong, crushing Pete Dunne on who's laying on the mat, where Roddy on top of Pete Dunne. All of a sudden, the Velveteen Dream goes to pin Pete Dunne of all people and gets the 3 count in the win. Roger tried to stop the count, but it was too late. So basically, they added Pete Dunne in this match so that he could take the pinfall. I don't get it with this Velveteen Dream. I don't get the fascination of this Velveteen Dream. I get the wrestler that I can get. I don't get the persona. I don't get the flamboyant. I don't get the whole theme of Velveteen Dream. You gotta be kidding me with this. This was bullshit in my opinion here. Pete Dunne was put in this match just to take the pinfall. If that's the case, then you could just have Roger Strong pin Pete Dunne. I would have been fine with that. At least with Roger Strong, at least he could have came out on top strong, to become the NXT North American champion. For God's sake, he needs a singles title belt for crying out loud. The only title he's won is the tag team titles. If you want to establish someone to be a singles champion on NXT, Roger Strong should have been your guy to win this match. I wouldn't be fine if Roger Strong pinned Pete Dunne, but Velveteen Dream. I don't get it, man. What is it with this guy, the Velveteen Dream, that people is losing their minds with, their minds for. I'm not trying to say that he sucks and everything. No, he's pretty good on the mic, pretty good in the ring. It's his gimmick. That's what I think it sucks about the Velveteen Dream. His gimmick to me sucks. But besides that, this was a good match. Just hate the finish of this match. Ridiculous. Velveteen Dream. And I can't believe that Pete Dunne was added into this match just so that he could take the pinfall. In this case, you could just have a one-on-one match between the Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong. If you're gonna have the Velveteen Dream go over anyways, did you really need Pete Dunne in this match just to him to take the pinfall? So I hated that. So then we get to the next match for the NXT Women's Championship that lasted 14 minutes and 35 seconds. You have Shayna Baszler, the NXT champion, versus Mia Yim. Mia Yim had her entrance where she had a couple of gang members, in bandanas and all that, and because of her persona and all that. I thought it was pretty cool. But as far as the match was, this was the weakest match I ever seen my entire life, or just the NXT Takeover matches. Especially didn't help the case at all when Mia Yim botched some spot that she and Shane Baszler, was gonna do from the whipped into Irish whip into whatever. I don't know what they're trying to go for at first, but they tried again and they went for it. But at this point, they lost the fans at this point. And this is a crazy part too. These two had matches before, even before WWE, where they were doing some good matches, outside of WWE and in WWE, where it tends to regular NXT TV shows. And then soon as we get the takeover here, it fell flat. Because there's one botched spot that they did, and on top of that, not much of a build up I get. And yeah, there was in a way it was a build up that they did here, and but the fact is, some people didn't care about this build up. That's the whole thing about this whole thing. Which is why the match was a little lackluster. But there was some cool spots in the match too, though. Mia Yim doing the cold blue off the top turnbuckle to Shane Baszler and ends up coming up short. Shane Baszler basically also Mia Yim working the arm of Shane Baszler as Shane Baszler was working I believe the leg or the one of her arms. I'm assuming she was working the leg. I'm assuming, but in the end, Shane Baszler ends up winning was by, the match by submission, and not with the Karakula, not with the Karakula clutch, but with like a figure four head scissors instead, because she couldn't use her arms because again she was saying that her arms were damaged in the match by Mia Yim. So Mia Yim was forced to tap out from the figure four head scissors, and Shane Baszler retains the title, which kind of, it was expected because like I said, there was no reason for Mia Yim to be the one to dethrone the Queen of Spades, to become the NXT Women's Champion. So in a way, it was a right call here that Shayna Baszler is still the NXT Women's Champion, and she should stay and remain as the NXT Women's Champion until someone to be built up strongly to take the belt off of her, which I believe it should have been Candice Ray for this takeover Toronto match instead of Mia Yim, but once again, because Vince McMahon called up Kairi Sane too early to you know beside the call her up, I meant to say, um to the main roster. uh, the NXT had to change plans because of that. So yeah, so Shane Baszler retained, which I was alright with that because Shane Baszler, I'm a fan of Shayna Baszler. So there you go. Now before we get to the main event, some honorable mentions. When we first get these honorable mentions out of the way, what pertains to who was there to watch the show, and then I'll get to the other honorable mention when pertains to what happened on the pre-show. So the honorable mentions, for example, you have Ricochet from Raw, who's on the show watching the show. You have a guy from Evolve, which I did a review about Evolve before. I think it was like a month ago I did, and he's the Evolve champion, Austin Theory. There's been talks about Austin Theory coming into WWE, basically to be part of NXT, and then sure enough, he ends up showing up on NXT. Take over Toronto, being spotted in the crowd. That he's one of the guests that he wants to see the show in person and everything. It's one of those plant type of things to make it feel like it's important to be there. And Austin Theory, he's gonna be on NXT pretty soon, which I will get to that one when I get to the NXT review, where it pertains to the NXT after Takeover Toronto. That episode edition. For this review though. Um, you also have the NXT. You also have the WWE United Kingdom champion. Um, Walter was there. We also saw Tyler Bate there as well. They were not sitting together by the way. They were not even sitting nowhere near each other, which is which I could call for. I could call uh for some good continuity there, because if you had them next to each other, or whatever, or even close to each other, then that would not make sense, and I would definitely rant about that, because they're supposed to be um in this heated feud, between each other, represents to their build-ups for their takeover shows at Cardiff. So in a way, they separated them, from being, I believe, halfway away from each other, basically. So I can appreciate that. I can't remember who else was there. I can only I recall four people that I saw in the crowd. Obviously that's one of them Evolve, which is Austin Theory, and then you got the rest of the guys who are part of the E, except you got the guys that are not on the main shows yet, which is Tyler Bate and Walter. But you got Ricochet, who's on the main show, who's there, and on top of that, he was part of NXT. So And there you go. That's one of the honorable mentions. Um, and now another honorable mention before I get to the main event is what happened in the pre-show. So basically on the pre-show of what I heard on commentary from Mauro Naru, Nigel McGuinness, and Beth Phoenix, where they were discussing about this whole thing, is that there was a coin toss between Adam Cole and John Gargano because represents their stipulation match with John Gargano choosing a street fight and then Adam Cole choosing a wrestling match. Just a regular singles wrestling match. There was a coin toss, and the winner of that coin toss will have the first match to be the first fall, and the one who won that coin toss was Adam Cole. So the wrestling match was the first fall, and then the second fall will be a street fight, and then also with Rodrigo being on the pre-show, the third fall, which it was Rodrigo's choice, who's the NXT general manager. He said, um, "I would tell you, but I just want to." I'm trying to remember how he said it though. He said, I will tell you, but I think it's better if I show you." I think it's in the way that's how he said it. It was kind of that way. How he said it. Instead of telling you guys, what I pick as your stipulation for the dirt fall, if there is a dirt fall, I'm going to show you instead when we get to the main event. So, with that being said, now let's get to the main event. And the main event is, the 2 out 3 falls, aka the 3 stages of hell, for the NXT Championship. It just lasted 46 minutes and 41 seconds, the longest NXT match ever. I'm assuming this was the longest match I've ever seen. Retains to because obviously with with it being having 3 falls in this one, But anyways, so the NXT champion Adam Cole, baby, versus Johnny Gargano, who was with his ring attire and his vest, what pertains to his entrance, Wolverine influence, like Wolverine and inspiration attire he was wearing, and his wristband also had the Wolverine attire. With the claws. It was a mini claws, but still. But yeah, he was just like he was basically the Wolverine for this takeover show, and I'm a big fan of Wolverine from X-Men. So I'm a sucker for what pertains to any type of outfit that involves Wolverine from the probably X-Men the animated series, and it's basically the same thing of what Rey Mysterio Jr. did from last year when he was a part of the All In show when he was just like Wolverine, and the way that Rey Mysterio, the way that Rey Mysterio Jr. was wearing the Wolverine outfit, it was pretty cool, especially with him wearing the mask. Especially with Rey Mysterio Jr. wearing the mask, like Wolverine from X-Men animated series wearing the mask. If it's Rey Mysterio Jr. John Gargano, now he wasn't wearing a mask though, what pertains to his entrance, but hey, he was wearing the vest, and he and I just love how it looks, man. It was pretty cool, pretty damn cool. John Gargano, man, and obviously with John Gargano being a nerd and a fan of Marvel, obviously, you can appreciate that. He's done it all basically. He's done Venom, Captain Marvel, Captain America. Who else he's done? Who else he's done? I think he did Iron Man. Yeah, if I can remember, I think he did Iron Man. Yeah, he did Iron Man. Um, I don't remember if he ever did one with about what pertains to Thor. You know, I don't know if he ever did one what pertains to Thor, but if he did, that yeah, but I can't, don't quote me on that though. But I'm just saying, if he did, then good for him too. But anyways, but yeah, let's get to this match now. The first fall, like I said, is a wrestling match. Adam Cole versus John Gargano. Good match. Alan Cole was brought on a steel chair. The distracted referee so that he could get Gargano a low blow. Um, and then eventually those two chairs, obviously. Adam Cole uses a steel chair in the ring, and then he got the second steel chair. Um, that was not used yet. Um, basically, Adam Cole, he couldn't find a way to beat Gargano, even though it was a match that he chose, a wrestling match. But then Gargano decided to get into the disqualify by hitting Adam Cole with a steel chair, and then starts beating him up with a steel chair again. Referees try to stop him. That. Basically, Adam Cole won the first fall, which I predicted that he was going to win the first fall. So then the second fall starts with being a street fight. Adam Cole realized, oh wait a minute, he's in trouble now because Gargano like put more beating on Adam Cole in a street fight. So they start fighting into the crowd. Gargano was getting the better of Adam Cole. They got back into at ringside. They used some weapons in the match, like a candlestick. Um, and they brought on tables in the ring, but it hasn't been used yet. Um, but in the end, it was Gargano getting the second fall win here in a street fight with the candlestick. I'm assuming he misses a candlestick as to miss his mission that Gargano escape. So finally, we get to the third and final fall, because again, Mormigo says if there is a third fall to happen in in this 12 falls, in this in this 3 stages of hell, Mormigo is again, instead of telling you, I'm going to show you. So a steel cage was lowered down, and the way they did this too is they had some how they call it, a tart to cover up the the steel cage from from above the ceiling, and that's what they did, and they did a good job at that. Cause I didn't notice it. So the steel cage lowers down. It was not, but it wasn't just a steel cage. It was a steel cage wrapped around from the top with barbed wire. Basically, a barbed wire steel cage match. Not only with barbed wire involved, but a candlestick attached to it, uh, a sledgehammer, a chair, ladder, a table I believe was on there. Some kind of table that they didn't use. From it just looked just sick. Basically a weapon of choice in this barbed wire steel cage match. So the match began, the third fall. Um, Alan Cole with the Pamela Sunrise on Gargano for a near fall, off of and then Alan Cole goes for it again. This time off of a ladder that was set up. Gargano goes for the avalanche front flip power driver, which is the Canadian Destroyer. But I think at this point it should be called the Gargano Destroyer since John Gargano did it. Mm. They use candlesticks. They use a sledgehammer. They use a table, which it was used at the end of the match. So they were on top of on top of the cage, and buried on even though they were on top of the cage, they the only way to win the match anyways is by pinfall. So even if they left if they escape the cage, they and land on the floor, the match will not end right because of that. But here's the thing too. What pertains to the barbed wire, how can it escape anyways when there's a barbed wire wrapped around on top of the cage? And on top of that, there was no door. There was no door either to get out either. So there was a plier to cut the barbed wire that Gargano did. He teased trying to use the barbed wire to cut Alan Cole and everything, right? But that's not. But it was never used though. Um, Alan Cole and Gargano fell off of the cage through a table. Alan Cole, out of instant, ends up going on top of Gargano, gets a 3 count in the win, your winner by getting the second fall and his third fall. Still the NXT champion, Adam Cole, baby. After the match, Adam Cole was being attended by Undisputed Era, and that was it. Adam Cole still remains NXT champion. He's the only one. He's the only one for Undisputed Era that's draped in gold, while Roderick Strong and the rest of Undisputed Era, O'Reilly and Fish are not draped in gold. So, and that was that. Another honorable mention routines that happened after the show. Gargano was getting a standing ovation. And Cancer Ray came out there, pertains to Gargano getting a standing ovation. And that's another thing too. Gargano came into the show being heavily booed by these Toronto, Ontario, fans. But then later on, they started cheering for him. And when Rico came out, give him a hug and all that. This is what I heard, and I take people's word for it of what was going on after the show. Basically, this was Gargano's farewell, what pertains to him being on NXT, and may God help him either if he goes to the main card, to the main show of Raw and SmackDown, or to 205 Live. In my opinion, he should go to 205 Live, because if he goes to Raw or SmackDown, either way, and on top of this whole wild card rule stupid bullshit, they're not gonna know what to do with Gargano. That's gonna be a crime, and it's gonna piss me off too as a Gargano fan. And that was it. Now before I get to my overall strength of the show, first let's get to the highlights of the nights. We're starting off with Swerve in the night will be um what should be Swerve in the night? Well, to me, Swerve in the night to me will have to be the Street Profits retaining the NXT Championship, the NXT Tag Team Championship. Yeah, because that was to me was Swerve in the night for me, what pertains to the Street Profits retain their NXT Tag Team Championships against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Um, I'm gonna skip promo of the night because the show was not about promos. It was just to showcase only the wrestling. So I'm gonna skip have that. I'm gonna scratch that part. My moment of the night though will have to be, let's see, if I had to choose a moment of the night here. Moment of the night. Oh, this could be a tough one. Well, okay, my moment of the night will have to be the third fall stipulation that was chosen by Remigo. Where he showed us that it was going to be a barbed wire steel cage with all the weapons being involved. So that was, to me, that was moment of the night, because I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Yeah, so that would be my moment of the night. Entrance of the night, I'm gonna go with John Gargano, what pertains to him of his Wolverine attire from X-Men. Move of the night will have to be Alan Cole's Pamela Sunrise off a ladder to Gargano. Finish of the night will have to go to um I'm gonna go with um who oh yeah Montez Ford with the high his sky high frog splash, which that is his finishing move. So I'm gonna go with that as the finish of the night. And finally, performance of the night. Oh wait a minute. I, Sorry folks, I forgot this other thing. Match of the night. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not to the end. My apologies. What I meant to say is performance of the night. Performance of the night to me will have to go. I will have to go to um Roger Strong. There you go, Roger Strong. That's another thing that I want to talk about too. Roger Strong was killing it in that triple threat match against Pete Dunne and Velveteen Dream. So I'm gonna go with Roger Strong as the performance of the night. Match of the night. I'm gonna go um with the triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne, and Roger Strong. Also to share match of the night as well, along with Io Shirai and Candice Ray. So in a way, two matches were my match of the night. And my overall stream for the show for WWE NXT Takeover Toronto for from August 10th, 2019. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10. This was indeed the you know how did I say this before? The greatest. I think I will consider this as I will consider this excuse me, I will consider this as the greatest show of the SummerSlam weekend. I'm assuming that's uh, how I entitled it at first. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that. But with that being said, folks, that's it. Thank you all for watching. For It's the Natural Born Driller saying peace on the streets. For this was your WWE NXT Takeover Toronto review, and there you go. For next time, folks, take care.